and welcome to the show. Today I have with us Mr. Manish Sonthalia, who is the Chief Investment Officer at Emkay Investment Managers Limited. Hi Manish and welcome to the show.
Thanks. Yeah.
Today we are in very exciting times ahead of the Indian economy and the Indian equity markets.
Yeah.
And we are happy to announce the launch of our MK's India's Golden Decade of Growth Fund Strategy under the umbrella of AIF. So here we are with Manish with a few questions around the strategy.
Sure.
So my first question to you, Manish, could you tell us what is special about this strategy?
Right. So I would believe that India had never had it so good. Why I say this is because emerging economies, if you compare with the likes of let's say Brazil or China, they have all gone through the same path. And what we have seen is that whenever emerging economies cross this $2,300, $2,500 per capita, there is an accelerated amount of growth. And today in India, we are in that sort of a scenario when our per capita income is closer to around $2,500. I mean, like in other economies, we believe that India is also on an accelerated path. If you were to believe all numbers given by various agencies, India should reach that $5 trillion economy mark anytime between 2027 and 30. Optimistic scenario says 27. So I think in that backdrop, this moment is very good for India when it comes to, let's say, as far as the Indian economy is concerned, as well as the Indian equity market. A lot of money is going to be made in Indian equities between now and 2030. And so this is the right time to launch such a product.
Wow. So can you tell us a little more about the themes that you will be focusing on?
Yes. I think, between now and let's say 2030 or when India is to reach about a $5 trillion economy, I think 5 themes will really stand out and it will create a lot of wealth for our investors. The first theme is obviously consumption. India, it's all pervasive and it's not a 1 year, 2 year, it's a decadal theme for India. It will continue for many decades. You have a lot of urbanization, we have a young demographic dividend. You have a lot of millennial Gen Z consuming in a certain way, a different way than how brick and mortar consumption used to happen. And obviously a per capita income moving or roughly around doubling will mean a lot of discretionary expenditure. When it comes to, let's say, savings, intermediation of savings, obviously India is one of the highest savings countries in the world, and savings is like water in a bucket. If it does not have a leaking bucket, and this accumulates over a period of time, over the next 10 years, probably it will be something like $10 trillion. And this requires financial intermediation not only from a lending point of view, but also from the point of view of the fact that various other aspects of financial markets and financial system will come to the listed space. We're talking about asset management companies, insurance companies, wealth management platform, bullion dealers, exchanges. You have a whole lot of things, and this will all, digital, fintechs, all will come. So again, the size of the opportunity is very big and you'll have many wealth creating opportunities. The third is basically your energy transition. Gone are those days of fossil fuels being burned and energy security being secured upon. I mean, we depend on a few countries to secure our energy needs. I mean, today we are, and thanks to a regulatory push from governments all over the world and the need for a technological advantage push and a local production of energy, that we are looking at the entire world moving away from fossil energy to green energy. Right from production to generation to distribution, transmission and consumption. In that backdrop, all aspects of green energy will be explored. And again, I think that many billion-dollar businesses are going to get created. We are talking about lithium-ion battery factories. We are talking about e-charging, EV charging. We are talking about hydrogen, green hydrogen. I mean, these are all new themes that will create a lot of wealth. So again, energy transition being one of them. The fourth is basically your manufacturing. The diversification away from China as being a supply chain source, and not only China, we are talking about Europe as a supply chain source. Very high energy cost will mean that manufacturing moves away from Europe. And India, the ecosystem is just about right from a top down as well as on a bottom up approach. I mean, we have a low cost of labor, we have a reasonable cost of power, our political system is stable, we have efficient modes of transport. I mean, we can make it big. And if we were not to make it big, then obviously the fault lies with us. So again, this thing will actually be big. And the fifth is basically artificial intelligence and its usage, because in the world of technology, artificial intelligence is the next big innovation after your iPhone in 2007 and your cloud in 2013-14. And obviously, right from Y2K, we see that Indian IT vendors do lend a support to the new innovations that come in the world of IT after a hiatus of a few years. If the journey has already started, we think this is going to be a big one. So I think these five pervasive themes between now and 2030, if we are able to capture a few names which can compound and grow, then I think these are wealth creating opportunities. Hence these five themes.
Right. Those were great insights. But why do you think these themes will do better than the other themes?
Because I think that the growth rates in companies catering to these themes will be much better than what the situation has been in. I mean, see, India is a growth economy. All themes and all sectors are growing. We have to find themes and sectors which will grow better than the rest. I think these five themes will grow faster than the usual themes that we have already talked about in the past decade or 5 years or so. So that's the reason I think that as growth investors, we want to buy into sectors and businesses which will grow faster than the others. We think that these sectors will actually grow faster than the others, hence these themes.
Okay, so what are the kind of returns that would be possible?
So I think our endeavor is that, and this goes with the portfolio construction, we would like to buy businesses which can double their profits in 3 to 4 years. Typically, what we have found is that markets double your capital in 5 years, roughly around 14-15% compounded. So the idea is that if we don't, and idea is not to buy companies which are prohibitively expensive vis-a-vis the growth. If you're able to demonstrate and buy companies which can double their profits in 3 to 4 years, we think that, as has always been the case, that market capitalization goes hand in hand with profit. So that's the sort of returns that we are endeavoring and aspiring to achieve. If that be the case, we can hope to generate an alpha. So 18 to 24% compounded growth rate in your profits is the portfolio that we are aspiring to construct. And obviously, valuations being reasonable, I mean, that sort of return is what we are aspiring to achieve.
Okay, so can you tell us more about maybe the structure of the product?
So this is going to be an AIF product. It's a closed-ended AIF product. It's thematic and it's for a period till 2030. So essentially, it's a 5-year product, and if there is a need, we'll extend it by another 2 years. So we are going to have NSE 500 as the benchmark for this product. Pre-tax NAV, because in an AIF structure, the fund is taxed at the fund level, not at the individual level. So pre-tax NAV is what we are having. We'll have 3 or 4 share classes depending on the size of the ticket of the fund, and obviously taxation is 10% long-term capital gains tax and 15% short-term capital gain. Dividends normally would be taxed at the rate at which it is taxed for association of persons. That's basically it's as common as a CAT 3 structure of an AI fund, nothing special about that.
Great. And who would be the fund managers here?
So I'll be looking to manage this fund, and just to give you a brief background about me, I have around 30 years of experience in the Indian equity markets, and last I have managed money for the last 20 years or so. So that tells you a bit about my experience, and I will have Kashyap Zaveri as my co-fund manager for this project.
Sure, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
and looking forward.
Thanks a lot.
And that brings us to the end of the chat with Mr. Manish Sonthalia. We are all excited for the launch of our AIF Series 6. For more details on the product, do contact us on the below mentioned details. And don't forget to subscribe.